So, I wanted to come here and talk to you guys about the data breach that's currently occurring in the federal government and to tell you where to really focus your attention, or at least a place to consider focusing your attention. It's not only about the data, it's something that is bigger than this. So, a few days ago, as a taunt to Sam Altman, Elon Musk offered to purchase OpenAI for 97, I believe, billion dollars. So, as some of you may or may not know, OpenAI, as it stands now, is a private company. So, they are not currently up for profit, although the ultimate goal, obviously, is to perhaps go public, IPO, sell shares, and if not, sell the company off outright. So, this got me thinking about XAI specifically. So, what XAI has to do with what's currently going on in the federal government is that in order to compete with OpenAI or DeepSeek for that matter, any of these AI machine learning companies, you need a very clean data set. So I work as a scientist. I've said this before. I'm a biochemist by training. I was also trained as a neuroscientist in my postdoc. But in the course of both of those jobs, I've had to work with large data sets, specifically analysis of proteins and protein structure, and in the neuroscience sense, looking specifically at different types of genes that could increase or decrease instances of Alzheimer's disease in mouse models. So I'll preface all this with saying that yes, while I have experience with these large data sets, I am not a bioinformatician, but I've sat in on meetings with bioinformaticians, software engineers, and people that generally build these algorithms and machine learning prediction models to understand where the data I have fits into their analysis. So, from my previous background or my current job, frankly, I've gleaned some insights into how these algorithms work. So, in order to make a very good predictive model or machine learning algorithm, you need very clean data. So, the thing is, it's hard to find this type of like very nice and neat data because there's a lot of caveats with the data that you get. Even large companies like, let's say, an Amazon, they can, predict, let's say, the purchasing habits of a woman between the ages of 28 and 35. I fall within that age range, so that's why I picked it. However, that data is caveated because they can only collect the data of women that age that are specifically using Amazon and logged into their Amazon Prime accounts, right? Because presumably you put in your date of birth and everything when you register for your account. So that's just to say that a lot of even these large companies, the data that they're working with is already caveated because it's specific to the people that are even inclined to use the service. This goes for Spotify, this goes for Amazon, Target, Netflix, what have you. So where does the federal government come in? Well, we know that currently DOGE is accessing a lot of data of the American people from the Department of Education to, USAID, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, et cetera, et cetera. Well, who in this world has the largest statistical data set that encompasses a large swath of the American population? You guessed it, the federal government. We already know that Elon Musk has this AI company that he's hoping to outcompete OpenAI with. What better way to train an algorithm than to use data sets that are provided by the federal government? The federal government has information on every legal citizen that has been born and registered in this country since at least, I would say, 1960, let's say modern day. So Social Security, date of birth, area code, your zip code, where you went to school from the Department of Education, the amount of student loans that you carry from the Department of Education, perhaps even your credit card debt, household size, household income, jobs, federal tax records. I could go on and on. So the danger here is unlike a Amazon or a Spotify or whatever company that you can think of, which has the data of people that specifically give it to them through registering for that service. Elon Musk now has access to the data of everyone living in America that he could use to train his AI machine learning models. The scariest part about this is that if, it's not a matter of if, it's actually when, they begin the data mining and the training of their AI with all of our information, do you think that AI is going to be copyrighted or belong to the US government, aka an extension of the American people? No. Elon Musk is going to take that AI with him and use it for his own purposes, which some of you will say, duh, I could have already gleaned that. But here's the part that you need to think about. So this is the part that really gets scary for me is, okay, Elon Musk makes this machine learning algorithm or artificial intelligence, right? He doesn't leave that to the federal government. The government will not own that. He will own it, and therefore he has the rights to license it. So what this licensing means that everything that you could purchase from a large company could be affected, and your prices, you could basically get what is the equivalent of Uber dynamic pricing for everything that you purchase because of this machine learning algorithm. With this highly trained data set, he can go out and say, hey, okay, United Healthcare, you typically only have access to the data of the people that specifically sign up for United Healthcare services. How about you start pricing things on the basis of the entire American population? So whereas United Healthcare, if they're, let's say, operating in Alabama, maybe 30, at best 40% of the people in Alabama have United Healthcare. Well, now if they have access to, Elon Musk's machine learning that has been, trained on everyone in the United States, and especially the state of Alabama in this case, United Healthcare can now price their product more precisely or increase their prices more precisely based on this large data set. So while, the people in Congress are flailing around talking about just the access to the data, just the access to the data, that's not where it stops. That's just the beginning. What is going to be interesting to see from future is, where does this data end up? Whose hands does it end up in? Elon Musk, that's my bet. How is it used to train these large data sets, and how is it going to be weaponized against the American people? You've already seen this in terms of getting insurance, any type of insurance. They get very specific about, your family history and all that stuff. This is going to be that on steroids, on a level you can't believe, and there's not going to be any escape from it, because my bet is he will license this algorithm to other companies within the United States, perhaps even the world, to understand buying patterns and to price things accordingly. Furthermore, these federal jobs that they're trying to get rid of, he is going to go into those data sets for all of those departments and start training AI on them so they can replace workers. That is the ultimate plan in the federal government. But what is that going to mean for the people in the private sector? How is that going to affect our daily lives? What we're able to watch, what we're able to purchase? Can we even be guaranteed fair pricing anymore? What will fair pricing even mean when you basically have an Uber dynamic pricing model applied to everything that you own in the United States? It's starting to sound a lot like you'll own nothing and you will be happy. Keep your eyes open and just consider things beyond, just a little bit beyond the surface of what you're being sold.